What's up, guys? Title says it all, no intro. Today we're going to be talking about projects. If you're new to QuickBooks and you are a service industry company, a landscaping company, a plumber, electrician, solar, construction, anything that is project related, you would get so much out of projects. So let's dive in. The first thing you're going to need is a QuickBooks Advanced, I believe. And in order to enable projects, you'll see it here on the left-hand bar and projects. So as a quick overview, projects are used as a nomination for all of your bills, invoices, and expenses to be categorized and to be organized into these different projects so you can see your profitability and your related expenses relative to each engagement. Enough talking about it. Let's just get into it. If you have a customer and let's just start fresh. And let's say that we have a new customer, and let's name this person John Adams. That's our new customer. Again, this is the sample company, so there's going to be weirdness here. So in order to create a project, so you can go to projects and add project. Now let's add the location. So he lives on 789 Magical Rainforest Drive. Okay, and this will create the project. Now, this isn't a customer, it is basically a sub customer for John Adams. And the way that it works is that anytime that you create an invoice, a bill, or code any of your expenses and transactions that are related to this project, you can do so like this. So, John Adams. You're going to want to choose the project whenever you create an invoice, for example. And so, put it into that project, whatever it is. Let's say it's designed for $100. We can save that. And then on the bill side, oh no, it's showing you all the projects here now. I added a couple of these to make it populated. But you can see that there are these projects here, and it gives you an overview of the income and costs right here on the project screen. You can see that by just going here. But let's do a bill first. And then let's say who's a vendor that we've got here? Books by Bessie came by and she helped us out with a few things. And this was related to the John Adams project on Magical Lane. So we can either type in his name or we can type in the address and it'll pop up here. And for every line item that you have a bill or an expense for, you want to tag it with this project. Okay, so let's save that. And the same thing when you're in your bank feed, when you're looking at your transactions and you're looking through here, if there's anything that is related to the John Adams project, you can open it and you can say, let's do this one instead. You can open it. You can say it is for the Magical Rainforest Drive. We can say what account it's in here. This was a rent or lease. We leased something, and we can type in John Adams here and see it says project of John Adams. We choose it. We can add it right there from the bank feed. So what does this do? How is this helpful? We can go back to our projects and we can see John Adams project, a really cool breakdown of your income versus cost as a summary, detail here, all the income, all the costs, and then the profit on the job, your profit margin, your open invoices, and your overdue invoices. And so it's really easy to come through here and say, okay, what are all the transactions related to the project? And we can even run a report and see what our project profitability is related to this job, which if you're somebody who's doing landscaping, for example, and you want to know what our profitability is of this job, we're sending guys there, they're doing labor, we're hiring contractors, we're buying materials, and we're billing the customer, but we don't really know what our net income is by job. This is a really nice way to look at it. So now we're looking at this, and man, we're not doing so hot with this project. This 789 Magical Rainforest Drive is really putting us pretty deep in a hole. John Adams is a good guy, but we're really racking up our costs here. And why is that? Another really cool thing that you can do is you can go to your project reports, and another really cool thing that you can do is one of the questions I get all the time is, I'm spending all this money on contractors. I want to know, how much am I paying this guy or this company at this project? And here's how you can answer that question. Go to reports. And we're going to make a custom report. It's going to be transaction detail by account. I like to clean it up a little bit and remove some of the columns we're not going to use. So let's get rid of, actually pretty good already. So we're going to filter this. And to answer this question, we're going to want to know how many bills and expenses have we, paid to a certain vendor on a project. So let's do transaction type. And let's say we're only going to do bills and expenses so we can capture those payments. And let's add a column for the project. I think the customer would do it. Yep, there we go. And then let's filter it so that it's only going to show us the 789 Magical Rainforest Drive project. So there you go. So you can save this if you want to know, or if your client ever wanted to know and they asked you, how much have we spent on plumbing with Thomas Jefferson at the 789 Magical Rainforest Drive project? And you can save this report and you can run it quickly and you can say, hey, we've paid Thomas Jefferson $4,249. And they may say, did we actually pay him? And you can say, no, it's on an accrual basis. And then so you can save this. And that might answer the question, when you're looking at your projects and you're running a pretty major loss, then that may be one of the reasons why. It's just good information. When you're working in the field with your crews and you're working these jobs on site, there's going to be a lot of instances that you make purchases with credit cards, you get bills that need to be coded to projects. And so it's so important that you build a system in your business with all of your employees and all the people that you're and your contractors, that they make a reference on the receipts to the project or to the customer. And that way you don't have to go chasing transactions, trying to figure out at the end of the month dozens, if not hundreds of transactions that are related to projects. The best practice is to tell your crew that anytime they spend money, whether it be online, on Amazon, on their credit card, at a shop, whatever it may be, write or mention or reference the project that they're buying that thing for and have it sent to you in an email. I spend the majority of my time allocating project expenses and coding. And it's so easy to go into my email, go to the client's email and search 102.39, $102.39. And I have the detail right there. And then I'm looking at the transaction in the bank feed and I can code it right to the project right there. And that will start to fill up the reality of the income and cost that you're incurring. And you can see where you're at with projects on a pretty constant basis. Thank you so much for watching. There is so much more to projects. You can do a lot with billing and hourly time and more reporting, saving reports. If you have any questions or comments, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. I'd be happy to consult with you and help you. Thank you.